So, as you can tell with these, I kind of just speak on what I'm feeling in the moments. And so I don't want this to get taken the wrong way. But I'm feel like talking to my legacy, my children. I love them. Just to share some things. They're all adults. They're all in the world, figuring it out. Me and their mothers are here, available. They reach out to us, but they do have a strong sense of independence and they want to figure it out, which I love about all of them. But there's wisdom from the years that me and their mothers have been outside and have existed and lived and survived and worked and just, you know, you don't necessarily know if or when the right time is for them to get these jewels from you. And once everybody's separated, it's difficult and things just hit different. And not that I don't have a good communicative relationship with my children, but you're not living together. This is different from then when you're parenting. So I'm just gonna share some things that that I've learned on my journey with them. Things that I share to this day with them. Like, we have these conversations sometimes, and some of these things, maybe if I putting it in this way, it's something that they can carry with them, and when they start their families, maybe the knowledge gets passed on sooner, and it leads to a healthier generation than the one that we created. And I think that's the point, is to pass down as much information as possible, as many lessons and as much of a roadmap as you can. Times change and everything's not applicable, but I feel like the things that I'm going to share, can be modified and applied to the times. So, to my sons and daughters, take this time to seek your dreams. Like, you're young, you're full of energy, you're full of wonder, you're determined, you're not jaded. Everything is not gonna go your way. You're gonna run into obstacles, but keep going. You have your whole life ahead of you. And I know that it sounds contradictory, because it's like, don't take any moments for granted, because you don't know how long you have, but don't allow fear of failure to keep you from seeking out whatever you love to do. And within that, understand where you're at in life. We spend a lot of time, as kids, we enjoy being kids, and then, you have parents that, they're young, but they're old enough sometimes to be parents, and sometimes they're we don't have all the wisdom that we have at this point in life, and we attempt to give our kids information and mature them faster than they really need to be. And we feel like we're preparing them for the harshness of life, which is real and true. But I don't know, at this stage, I wish I would have spent more time embracing your youth, and allowing you to hold on to it a lot longer. I think we still could have taught you responsibility in a timely manner and still allowed a level of innocence to still exist. And I don't think we stole your childhood, but I definitely feel like, especially in the African American community or the Hispanic community, or we unfortunately are in financial and social conditions where we need our kids to do things that are normally reserved for a more advanced age a lot sooner. Our kids have to grow up a lot quicker because, a lot of times both parents, or if there's only one, is at work, and there's a time frame where that child is going to be able or need to be able to take care of themselves to a certain extent, where they don't have access to the parents. If we live in a different state or in a different place than the grandparents, or if the grandparents are not alive. I remember I was a latchkey kid at 10 years old. My parents were amazing, but they had to work to support us, which meant that I had to be and step up to assist, to take care of myself and my brother. And not take care, like we weren't abandoned, but I think the people listening to this understand. So, at this point, just understand that this time in your life doesn't come around often. And chase your dreams. Chase your dreams and live your life on your own terms. And that comes with some bumps in the road. You're going to have some lessons. You're going to hit your head. You're going to stumble, but that's okay. That's why you're able to recover so quickly, so you can push the limits. You are the revolution. You are the legacy. Like, you are the loud, disruptive noise that's supposed to shake up shit and push us forward, whether it's just yourself, whether it's your family, whether you're an example for your babies when they come. I don't want to live my life through you, but I want you to experience a life that I didn't. My purpose was to go through my experience and pass that information down to you to help you have a more enhanced experience with your life. If you're the starving, struggling artist, if you're the person who believes, in being one of the few that get to experience the amazing things life has to offer, do what it takes to do it. You have the energy and the work ethic. You have the example. You saw your mother and your mothers and your father work their ass off. You know what it means to get up every day and go do what needs to be done to get what you want to get. and live within your means. You don't even have a salary. Don't worry about the internet telling you that you need to have all these labels and you need to. They're talking about you at 18, 19. Some people, their kids are 16, 17, and they have an existence of someone who's graduated from college, postgraduate degree, is making six figures, and they don't even have a minimum wage paying job. And they make you think that you're a failure, or that you aren't attractive, or that you're not winning if you're not doing these things in the beginning of your life. This is the beginning. And no, I didn't have a legacy to leave you. I didn't have the money to pay for you to go to college. I wasn't even thinking about that when I was, 18, 19, 20. Like, what am I going to use to support my kids? It wasn't a conversation that I remember having with my parents. No disrespect to Big Keith and Denise. Like, they may have, I just don't recall it. I know that for me to go to college, it was going to take a scholarship and student loans. And maybe if I was thinking about it, or if that was a part of what I learned growing up. And my parents, they worked their ass off to make sure me and my brother had what we needed. And some things, we don't get that financial literacy. Our focus is on, living, and not necessarily even surviving. Just, it's not dire, but, we're check to check. There may be a little savings. We had a house. It wasn't like we were struggling, but it's now that I am where I'm at, I know better, and I want to show and express that to my kids so they can, start sooner. Start preparing for your retirement now, before you have a career. Prepare yourself. Change your habits. Get a better relationship with your wants versus your needs. A lot of things that we feel like we need in life are actually wants. I'm on an amazing journey right now as a travel worker, living van life. It forces you to reset your priorities. And if I would have had this experience as a young adult, I know that financially and just my life would be different. I don't regret having kids young. But if you don't have children young, like, there's nothing wrong with waiting. There's nothing wrong with living a life that actually makes sense versus, and I don't want to say versus, but a lot of times we go out and we do things without any thought to the consequences. We just feel like this feels good, and if something happens, I'll take care of it when it happens. And before you have to take care of something outside of yourself, before you create a life, a life that you have to support, like support the life that you want to live. So that may mean, you know, sons, daughters, don't have babies until you're ready. And ready doesn't mean you got to have a certain amount of money in the bank and, you know, you got to have all this stuff figured out. You just need to know that once you have a child, it's no longer about you as far as the priority. You, and it's not that you don't take care of you, but that part of it, you figuring it out, it is most beneficial to have that thing on autopilot. And that means that you have some kind of wellness, awareness in your life. And I'm talking about whole health, mental, physical, emotional. You know, you have a system, or you have a support system, you know, available to you, that you're working on being aware, because you don't have the time or the energy to devote to just you. You got a whole nother little being that's coming into the world that's depending on you to support it. And inevitably, you're going to put pieces of you to the side to address them. So there's nothing wrong with being selfish. Just be selfish until, or create a life where it's beneficial to be selfish, to take care of you, to put you first. Because once you have a child, and I'm not even talking about a spouse, that's a whole nother conversation, but once you have a child, your priorities have to change. Invest now in everything. Invest financially, invest emotionally, invest mentally, invest in your mental wealth, your mental health, invest in your financials. Trust me, you can set yourself up to where you have millions of dollars in the bank in your 40s. It takes a little sacrifice. I just think it's amazing. And as a kid, I did the same thing. You know, you go out to the store and you buy $300 shoes, but you don't have $3,000 saved in the bank that you don't have to touch. You know, when you grow up thinking that you don't have a lot and looking at the world outside and wishing that you had what they had, and then once you get the means to procure those things, to purchase those things, to wear those things, to feel like now I'm experiencing everything that I was missing out on, what I realize is I was not in a place in my life where I could afford to express myself that way. I did it and I worked my ass off to do it, but I just imagine if I didn't spend my money the way that I did and I invested, if I thought as a young man when I had all that energy and was working all those hours, if I would have invested instead of blowing it shopping and cars and rims and shoes and clothes, not even invested it in a business idea, but just invested it in retirement, invested it in funds for college for my future kids, or invested in stocks, or maybe I did have a business idea, or maybe I could have invested in real estate or any of those things. I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about, I got the energy to go to work. Let me go to work and get this money, because I need to have this stuff, because I want to feel fresh when I go outside. Be better. Be smarter. Physical health. And I'm not talking about exercise and working out, because, we do that because we want to look good. But to feel good inside, and for that feeling to last, your health. Invest and research what you're actually putting in your body. Besides breathing and sleeping, how you fuel your body is, you probably spend more time eating and drinking than anything else on a more consistent basis. So invest, take the time to realize and figure out how to fuel your body the most healthiest way. Your dad's a vegan, but things are coming out all the time. You figure out what works for you, but don't take it for granted the fact that you're young and you eat like shit, or you drink all the time, or you smoke all the time, or you're doing all these things that eventually are going to catch up. There's people who smoked for a year when they turned 18, or smoked for a year when they were 16 and quit. I'm in the health field, and that, along with environmental exposure, and now they're in their 30s and they have lung cancer. You can't control everything, but you can contribute to a longer, healthy life. I don't want any of my babies, we're all going to die, but I don't want you to die in pain. And I want you to enjoy life to the fullest as long as you can. Love. Like, really love as much as you can. Love your brothers and sisters. Love yourself. Love your parents. Love your experience. Don't spend a lot of time being negative and complaining, and, put yourself in positions where love is around you. Choose joy. Choose to see the bright side of things. Start it early so it's a habit. It can always be worse. Always. You have so much to look forward to. It's only wins and lessons. There's no losses. It may not come the way that you want it to. And that doesn't mean that, it's weird that, we have these sayings and, it may not come the way you want to. You got to figure out another way. No, maybe the way that you want to is not the way that it's supposed to be. Don't forget, you're young. You don't know. Allow room for growth. Allow room for things to occur outside of what you envision. Because as you progress, as your life carries on, the vision is going to change. Sometimes because of circumstance, sometimes because of your own personal evolution. But ultimately, you want to leave room for expansion. You're going to experience things that are going to change your entire way of thinking. I am so, like, there are pieces of me that are rooted, that I've felt about myself and the world ever since I could remember what my point of view was. And then there are other things that when I thought I knew exactly who I was and what I was going to be and how I felt about that thing are totally different. And both of them are amazing. And it doesn't stop. I am who I am now because I am not closed off to what the next moment could bring me. Don't sell yourself short and take those experiences away from yourself. You can do anything at any time, anywhere, any place. It doesn't matter. You're never too young or too old. You're always able to learn more. My babies, our babies are brilliant. No one can tell you that you can't do anything. And I can honestly say that even with me saying that, I don't have to, because they know, because I see them literally in their life, even in regard to what me and their moms may tell them. They're like, yo, I'm about to do this. And it's not about being defiant. It's that belief in themselves and the belief in the possibility. And I love that. Keep that. I mean, be smart and be prepared for whatever endeavor you put out there, whatever you choose to do. Be prepared for what comes along with it. That's what maturity is. That's what being an adult is understanding that, yes, you have the power and the freedom to make these choices, but that also requires that you take responsibility and accountability for what those choices are and what they come with. You can always pivot. If you have an obligation, be a man and a woman of your word, but you can always change your mind. Just be professional and courteous and, treat these situations how you would want to be treated in them. You're not always going to make everyone happy with the choices that you make, and that's okay. You're only 50% responsible for how that interaction goes. So don't let anyone guilt you into doing and being something that you don't want to be. Be a person of good moral fiber always. Don't allow how the world treats you to be how you treat the world. We all leave a legacy of vibration and energy outside. And I think that if people understood that it's more important what you do than what's done to you, because there is a balance, right? But I like to think that I want to be able to, one, survive and live, but also look at myself in the mirror and know that I didn't intentionally do something to take away from someone else's choices. I'm going to defend myself and my loved ones. I'm going to take care of me, but I'm also not going to do that maliciously and outside of defending myself to take away from someone else. Just be good people all the time. And it's hard because the world is going to show you its ass. You know, it is. You're gonna run into people who, no matter how good you are to them, they're gonna be jerks. They're gonna be assholes. They're gonna take advantage. They're gonna rob. They're gonna steal. They're gonna lie. They're gonna politic, and they're gonna betray you, and all these things are gonna happen. And if you allow that to turn you into them, you're no better. You deserve to feel and be amazing at all times. I could go on for a long time, and just know that your dad and your moms are here always. I love you very much, and I don't want to take away your experience. It's unique to you, but I want to share some things to hopefully help enhance that experience, and put you a couple steps ahead of where I started. Okay. Bye.